Stage 1, pressing for flight.
We're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
Yes, sir. Reading you loud and clear. Clear. The clock has started.
The clock has started.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome to Pressing for Flight, live from the Space Coast, where the schedule never holds. I'm your host, Rockets and Razorblades. Nobody knows what that means. Maybe I'll tell you. With me tonight, I have Matt, Mr. Cutshaw.
What up, y'all?
We have Steven, Mr. No. Kyle, Mr. Montgomery.
Where's the sound effects now? Wow.
That
was pretty good.
That was on purpose, by the way. And we have Matthew, Mr. Jordan.
What's up, y'all?
And Becca, Mr. Penland, who needs a microphone. Can anybody help?
Oh, here it is, right here.
All right. What happened this week? Well, we got the intro right. We didn't hear the intro song looping back through. I'm not going to name any names, Mr. Kegel.
Keegs.
I think what he was trying to do was, I think he was trying to do the restream over to Facebook, and then just it got screwy. But anyway, Rockets and Razorblades. So Beck and I like to hang out on Omegle after a day of wassailing, and I don't know. We
don't need to explain what wassailing is. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows what wassailing is. And what was it? We were talking to some kids, and as I do, try to evangelize with the Nate is in the chat. Telling people about space on Omegle and stuff. And I don't know, somehow something was said, and I just started speaking in an Australian accent. Rockets and Razorblades, mate.
And those kids loved it.
They just ate it up.
They were laughing so hard, and they started saying it. They're going to be saying it forever.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. All right, so this week we had our Starlink launch. In fact, if any of y'all in chat want to congratulate Nate walking there, he was one of my friends that was down to see his first launch.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry said...
Rockets and Razorblades! It's getting worse, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, every time you're more like Rowdy Piper is what you're starting to sound like.
That's okay, right? So Nathan got to see his first launch as well as our buddy Patrick. So that was awesome. His comments were, let's see. I think it was Nathan. I think they both commented on how bright it was, which is a common thing. It's awesome how a camera. I mean, you always say a camera can't do it justice, but it really doesn't. You really can't get a grasp of how bright it is until you see it in person. And then when the rumble came, Nathan said, "This feels apocalyptic," and it's like, yeah, it kind of does. Especially because like we were at Kirk Point Riverside Park, so that's like what is that, like 12, 13 miles, and that distance, it's like a slow build, whereas like if you're at the press site like 2-3 miles, it comes on really quick and it sounds pretty different, but from that distance it comes on really slowly, and it has this slow build, and it's just this deep rumble. So that was cool. We got to see his first launch.
If we have the right weather conditions, and it's only happened like once or twice, but you can actually hear the launch from my house about 10 minutes after launch.
Wow. I've heard of that. That just seems so nuts.
But the air has to be like cold and more dense, like the molecules closer together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what makes the difference.
Oh, yeah, like high pressure. If it's a high pressure system or whatever. That makes sense because sound travels better in water, which is obviously denser than air. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll say, Nate, if y'all are going to be in town, y'all want to be in town for a heavy launch. That was just a little single stick. Y'all need to be in town for a heavy launch. That's 3 of them bad boys stuck together.
And usually they come back.
Mhm.
Usually 2 of them come back. Astro Guy said his first launch was the night launch of Falcon Heavy. Yes, and it was insane. What up, Zach?
Yes, it was.
We see you, Zach.
And Harry said you're lucky that he can't join this call right now. And boy, I wish you would, because I want to hear you say rockets and razor blades.
I mean, it's possible. I don't think I should take the time to do it, but if anybody wants to figure out how to send Harry an invite, I'm open to him jumping on and saying rockets and Razorblades.
If I just send him a link, will it work?
Well, yeah, if you share it. Yeah, if you share it. If Harry pops on here and says rockets and Razorblades, that would just be awesome. Okay, so before we get into... Let's see, I'm going to pause that because, yeah, I just like to play the launch from the previous week. There was this that Michael Sheets shared today. A Russian luxury accessories brand, Caviar. I'm guessing it's supposed to be spelled, even though, I mean, it's a Russian company. I don't know. They're advertising an Elon Musk-themed iPhone 12 Pro. He didn't say Pro, but it is a Pro. $5,830 each. With the phones apparently having a real piece of spaceship built in. Okay. Now, this is good. Okay, all right, good. This is big enough to wait. I wonder if I can open.
I wonder how
image
many
in
Jim is
tab.
gonna buy.
Can I zoom in? Oh, perfect. Okay, this is good. The genius of the modern time, who proved by deed, not by word, that the humans are capable to conquer the endless space. Elon Musk amazes more and more often with his breakthrough ideas and innovative engineer thoughts every year. The mission of SpaceX is a space giant, the cornerstone of solar system colonization. For the creation of the premier model in the Discovery Collection on iPhone 12 Pro, Caviar designers were inspired the successful flight of Dragon. This is the new era in the space exploration, a new milestone in our history. The body of the model, Discovery Must Be on Mars, has a built-in real piece of the SpaceX mission that was in space. That's
The
alarming.
SpaceX mission that was in space. Wow.
Yeah, how'd they get that? This is not just an accessory. This is a valuable artifact. Owning it, you become a member of the space shuttle crew. A piece of history. A hero who conquers the space. Our age is the time of great geographic discoveries of the space. The colonization of Mars is not far off. Become a member of the SpaceX mission. Possess a real piece of the spaceship. Conquer the endless space with Caviar. Limited series, 19 copies. So get yours now.
You know Jim's already bought one.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
It says copies. It's actually just a printout of of the picture of it. They actually just put it on a copier.
Do what? Oh, the iPhone 12?
Because it says copies. Yeah, they just put it on a copier and just copied it.
Well, they need to copy some more. Look, there's shoes.
Oh, they got the kicks too,
Yeah,
man.
Those are
shoes.
cool.
Yeah, and this is real Martian regolith right here.
Nice.
So Perseverance is going to collect Mars samples. Well, they've already got it.
Yeah, right.
Have
on
you
their
seen
shoes.
the popular soap brand Dr. Squatch actually has a Mars themed soap called Mars Bar, and it's got iron oxide in it. I don't know. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
We're gonna see how it is.
Yeah, use some
Here.
Mars soap.
Become a part of the space mission. What must be on Mars? Is it supposed to be a play on words of must be on Mars, or is it just poor English?
I think that's just bad English, man.
Yeah.
No, I think it's the first one. I think it's supposed to be a.
Must
I mean,
be.
Titanium
Titanium.
body. Nice.
And it's got his real.
And it's
yeah,
got a motivating phrase on it.
yeah. It's got his actual autograph. Harry said it'll stick to his 4-year-old phone that's falling apart. Oh, Nate said I sold my car and bought one. Yeah. Well, you can get the shoes too. All right. Well, that's enough of that. So that's fun.
I'm feeling those kicks though, man.
I mean, they look nice, right?
Yeah.
It looks like you stepped in mud.
It does.
I wish I would have had those for the Mars 2020 launch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
You would
That
have
would be a
ruined
great
them on
time
the
to wear
Mars
them.
2020 launch.
that's right. We had stuff stuck, we had stickers all over 'em.
It took 15 minutes to pull all those stupid stickers
Oh,
off my
man.
pants,
Yeah,
man.
Every
like,
time.
Yeah. Okay, the other sort of quick thing that I just thought was interesting. You guys remember like 6 months ago or more, they were talking about how Betelgeuse, the star, was dimming. They think they have an explanation for it, and this animation doesn't. See, I'll just show a little bit of it just to show where it's at. See, there's Orion and Betelgeuse is right there. It's just in the shoulder. But there's a
It's to the south from here.
do what?
I said from here, it's to the south.
Oh, well, right now, this time of year, right?
Yeah.
You can't see Orion this time of year. Let's see. Let's see if I can blow that up. Perfect. Okay. So this is what they think happened. There was like a big eruption from the star Betelgeuse that was basically pointed towards us, right? And it just blew out this wad of stuff, and once it cooled, it was just like a cloud of dust, right? And from our perspective, that caused it to block out some of the light from the star, and that's it. It's like, oh, that's it.
That last picture kind of looks like the Eye of Sauron, by the way.
Oh,
Kinda.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, it sure does.
Is watching you. Just watch how many times you say that name. Bad things happen.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Careful.
Don't do it.
You'll get the
Don't do
rockets
it.
and Razorblades. Yeah, it is still really cool. Astro Guy said, yeah, it is still really cool.
Mhm.
But I was, to be honest, at the time when they were talking about it, and they said, they couched it in. This is probably not leading up to the supernova, but I was hoping. I mean, wouldn't that be cool to see a supernova, even as far
I
away?
totally want to see that before I die.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not sure that it would look like much more than the star just getting really bright, or like if we might
But
actually.
bright enough to see during the day, though.
Oh, really? Is that right?
Yes, it's going to be bright when that thing goes supernova. It'll be bright enough to see during the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they say the phase of life that Betelgeuse is in. They say that it is kind of getting close, but close is in stellar terms.
Close is like within the next 150 million years.
Right. Yeah. Astro Guy said I was waiting for it. Well, yeah. Nathan said a Dyson sphere is being built. That would be cool too. But I think
That's Tabitha Star.
Yeah, right, Tabby Star. That would be cool, but I'm pretty sure. In fact, in that article, it does say that Betelgeuse has gone back to its normal brightness now. So the cloud has. Wait, let's see. What are we saying? Harry says, "I sure hope it doesn't explode. I don't need extra light ruining my astro shots." Well, okay. Seth said, very convenient that NASA found this out and that there was a cloud right in our way. NASA must be doing some top secret research there. Yeah, that's it. The Earth is flat. All right, moving on.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And on the back of a turtle, right?
Yeah. Don't get too close to that edge, buddy. Okay, so we had a launch this week. In fact, last week we had to scoot on out of here because of it. So Starlink.
I was asleep.
The 10th batch of Starlink, or Starlink version 1, launch 9. I've accepted the this is 10th Starlink to me. In all my my folders and like my naming, conventions in my folders on my computer, this is 10th Starlink. Yeah, so it was beautiful. We I kind of mentioned that a couple of my friends got to see it for the first time. So there's that. There's the streak, and then Booster 1051 did return. I have to mention that I got a very interesting like on this photo last night. Anybody know Lars Blackmore?
The name rings a bell.
Boom, 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 boom. Anybody in chat, you know who Lars Blackmore is? I will wait. well, I'm not going to wait, but what's interesting about this particular mission is that this was the first one with all of the satellites to have the visors on there. They're trying, and as much I don't. Okay, kind of a side note. Have you guys been seeing every time there's a Starlink mission, you get comments? Maybe not on your stuff, but I see comments every time. People talking about space junk. Do we have to put more space junk up there? Right? Anybody? Yes.
Not
It
really.
hasn't in a while, but I used to get like maybe 20 plus comments on Facebook when you do it, when I post it there.
Yeah, I remember a specific person that's like high up in like the planetary science community saying that she was actively not watching the Starlink launch because of, I guess, because of light pollution. Well, they are trying to mitigate it. I think I've said before on the show that I think that regardless of if it was SpaceX doing it or Amazon or OneWeb or Facebook, it doesn't matter. It's something that's going to happen. And I think it's important for them to try to mitigate the brightness of the satellites. At the same time, I think that there are challenges in human existence that come about that we eventually get over, like it becomes more of a pain to process these images and stuff, but we can overcome that, and I think that we have to kind of work together. We're all kind of in the space community, we're on the same team, but it seems like this one issue kind of divides everybody, right?
It seems to.
You technically could say the same thing when the light bulb was invented.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, the light bulb was the beginning of light pollution.
Killing Astro.
Yeah.
That is a solid point.
Yeah. And
hell, even the candle.
Yeah. the first time humans made fire. Yes.
True story.
It wasn't natural.
You can get used to anything.
Oh, Harry got it right. Landing programmer dude. Yes. Yes.
Way to go, Harry.
Yeah. Lars Blackmore. That was just really, really cool to me because he's the one that, I'm sure there's a lot of people that worked on it, but he was kind of the ringleader to make that happen, to be able to make the Falcon 9 land on its own. Let's see. I'm just looking at the comments. Yeah, Astro Guy said every single Starlink launch, I see tons of stuff on Twitter. Yeah. It's a thing. I understand the gripes, but I do think that it's something that has to happen.
Also, a lot of people don't realize just how big space is and just how far spaced out these things are when you think of them as like space junk, right? Because a lot of people are like, they're putting so many satellites in there that's essentially accumulating more space junk, right? But these things are so far spread out, and they are basically pre-programmed to deorbit themselves at the end of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in such a low orbit that even if they lost power, they would deorbit.
They would naturally deorbit, yes.
In like 15 years, right? It's not.
Yes.
It's not like in 100 years, right?
No. It's not something that's like super far off. It's they thought about that. They thought about the ideas behind mitigation of space junk accretion.
Yeah, and you're right. The any comments about it being space junk, that is ridiculous. And I've made the mistake of chiming in. I try not to do any arguing on Twitter because it's pointless, and that's really not what I'm there for. But as far as my understanding of junk or trash, it's something that's not being used, right? A couch becomes junk when it is placed by the dumpster. Before then, it is being used, So I think that's just a ridiculous argument that it's space junk. So I wanted to show Kyle's awesome time lapse of the booster return because it shows so much cool stuff in it. You see Navigator and Searcher moving around. You see Miss Tree and Miss Chief scooting around.
There was even more stuff, but I ran out of storage.
Really? Oh yeah, because
that's 64 gigabytes. already.
Right here. This is it, 64 gigabytes. And the option is there, folks. You need to go make note of Kyle's channel here. It's Kyle_M_photo. He does have it available in 4K on YouTube, but I didn't want to risk this bogging down my connection. Look, oh yeah, that's Miss Chief, right? I think it was Miss Chief.
Yeah, I think
first.
Chief was first, then was Tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think it's really cool that you're doing this, and
Yeah, man.
your camera's just running and running and running the whole time. Even whenever I do the time lapse, I don't do it like that, like where it's just running the entire time. I'm like waiting for
One of these
something
times,
to
you're like
start.
a half a terabyte SD card.
Will your camera accept that? Because aren't there limits on, like, cameras have certain limits on what on what size SD card they could be?
256 is probably what I'm actually going to legitimately get at some point.
Yeah.
That's a more reasonable number.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, there's just so much action. And what is Navigator doing right there? Just chilling.
It's waiting for Tree to finish offloading so they could offload that generator.
Ah, okay. So that must come
Because we think
after
that
the
generator is going to get shipped back to Pensacola or wherever the rental company wants it.
Okay. And look at this. Oh, and it's coming to the end. Oh no! Oh, it's right there in front of you. That's pretty special, man. Like being that close. I know, in a wide angle, it's hard to tell just how close, but you don't often get this close to these things, and they are big.
It's like everybody put on your 3D
Back
glasses.
out, get a little closer.
Yeah. What'd you say, Kyle?
The inflatable kayak just get a little bit closer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Kyle was semi joking around about using an inflatable kayak for like after splashdown. I'm just glad you didn't.
Yeah.
Like we had no idea what was
Yeah.
coming, with the onslaught of all those boats, but
Yeah, well, the legitimate plan to use it was if it was still docked there the day after, I could kayak over and get close shots while it was docked.
okay. That might not have been
Like
an
within a
issue.
few hundred feet, it would have been fine. But I didn't even want to like risk making them think that he's gonna come right up to me.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
stress wise, Navigator doesn't need that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And then you got to see him twice. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because wait, let's see, is there anything else? Okay, yeah, no. Next is so Dragon made it back to Port Canaveral, and we were all out there for that. Or well, let's see, all of us but Becca and Matt Jordan.
I stayed home.
Yeah. I have to mention, and Becca doesn't require this, but I have to mention that Becca did allow this to happen. I'm doing dishes in the back. We work together. She's my boss. I'm doing dishes in the back, and it's on my mind. I'm thinking about it, but I don't like to be the employee that is, constantly asking to leave and stuff. So she pokes her head around the corner and she said, "So, when are they getting back?" And I just said, "It's imminent. I don't know. It's any time now." So she said that
She coming.
she said if I wanted to, I could just run out there and then come back. And so that's what I did. So I was able to just leave work for a little while, go see this, chat it up with you guys. I took just a little bit extra time to edit a couple photos and put them out, and then got back to work. I guess I should flip through these photos. This is one of my better ones of as far as like just showing the detail of the charring and stuff. I think Kegel actually got one that was a little better. You guys, should I? Is there anything that y'all's pictures show that I should pull up
Yeah, mine.
I don't know. I have a ton of
got a
different
good-
angles on my site.
on your what?
Yeah, I got the American flag on
site.
mine.
Here, let's go to. Wait, I have your site pulled up, don't I, Kyle?
Oh yeah, because I send you the tree album.
The tree one, but I can go galleries.
Yeah, just go to galleries, and then it should be like one of the last three. Yeah, go.
Oh.
Trees at the bottom, but have to go to the top. It's like the third. Top. You scroll down. The newest is at the top.
Oh, newness is at the top. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
This one? Okay.
That also includes Pensacola, so.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, some nice tight shots here. See, I never thought about using Smug Mug like this, like using it as like your storage kind of, because these are all available to buy. Like,
Yeah,
a lot of these
I
are
have it on proof
informational.
delay, so I'd probably be like, why do you want to buy that if they actually tried to buy it? But like, I also just use it to collect photos and like,
Right.
so I can pull my own photos up like super quick because of this.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna check out Matt's. Hopefully you haven't retweeted too much stuff. Let me see how far down I gotta go.
Well, I mean,
Scroll.
the heavy right there
Lots
at the
of
top.
gifs. Huh?
I said the heavy there at the top.
Wait, I'm almost.
Yeah,
Here we go.
To the American flag right there,
Where? I don't see it.
right next to the yellow strap, where the black bar is there, like right underneath there. I'm pointing at my computer like you can see me pointing. But yeah, right next to the yellow strap is actually the American flag.
I don't see it. Towards the top or like under the?
No, see where that bar is going horizontal and it has the orangish tube on it, like right where your cursor is, just a little bit over. Nope, the other way.
Oh,
A
right
little bit
here?
more. There you go. Yep, there
Right
it
here.
is.
Oh, wow.
That's not where I thought you were telling us to look.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty charred, man. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's still pretty cool.
Another
Even after all
interesting-
that, you can still somewhat see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. And then that ended up being my favorite one. The straight on but from the back. I thought that was pretty neat. Got the fast boats. These are the ones that are deployed once they splash down. Actually, I'm sure they're in the water already before they splash down, and then those are the ones that burn off to go get them. Yeah, super cool. Emotional for some people. I ran into Julia and she was holding it together. Like she loves this fleet stuff, and I think that, for her it's like triple fold. It's like
there were a few tears.
Yeah. It's like the Bob and Doug are back safe. The capsule's home. The crew of Go Navigator got, after all this training and preparation, they finally got to, catch a
Do their
dragon, do a real splashdown, in recovery. Yeah. So that's super exciting. And then this is the that new generator. Right. This is the new one, right? As far as
It's a rental that they unloaded in. They put it on in Pensacola. They took it off here and presumably shipped it back to Pensacola Rental Company or whatever.
Oh.
The thing that looks like a
Because
dumpster.
they need to make sure they didn't lose power on the way back.
Right. Okay. I was thinking
They need a backup in case they lost power on the way back.
I was thinking,
and then they just are going to probably repair whichever one's on board Navigator.
Okay. I was thinking this was just like they just went ahead and bought a new one. Oh, Daryl, yeah. Oh, look, another boat that says New Orleans on the back. Yep, that's right. Yeah, Go Navigator is originally from New Orleans. I mean, these boats are leased. If anybody doesn't know, they're not owned by SpaceX. The Go in all of their names: Go Quest, Go Navigator, Go Searcher, Go Mystery. That's Geis Offshore. It's a company that owns boats, and SpaceX has, they've got some kind of contract with them where they can totally outfit them however they need to. And but Geis Offshore actually owns the physical boats, if I understand it correctly. Kyle, is that
Yes.
Yeah.
I say they buy them. I mean, that's just me. I think they should just buy them. I mean, they're already.
It's so
everybody
much cheaper
incorporates.
to lease them. You're talking millions of dollars versus hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And then it's
Is
up
that-
to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I should have played my horse sound. So they get it from a company that sells all kinds of boats. Like they can do anything, and they outfit it, like you said, they outfit it for whatever they need. So like that technology with the thing that bends down and picks up and then comes back up, that's just them. They're the only people that do that.
Well, that might be a type of crane that's not necessarily new. I don't think.
It's used.
They
for other
use those
things.
on fishing boats to pull
Yeah, I
the
was gonna say,
dragnet
yeah.
out of the water.
Yeah, exactly. To get all the fish on board.
And as far as like them buying it versus just leasing them from Geis Offshore, I think it's probably just easier because Geis Offshore, I think, it's probably their responsibility for the maintenance of the boats, and that way SpaceX doesn't have to fool with it. I would think.
Yeah, they take care of the hull, and SpaceX has replaced the engines on say anything that says "go" on it, right? They're basically buying the hull, and it overcomes the regulatory bounds that they have for this boat is based out of whatever country. Geiso Offshore already takes care of all that regulatory stuff. SpaceX doesn't have to worry about all that stuff. They don't have to worry about paying taxes on this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like when people say,
Nice.
"Oh, I want to buy an airplane." You don't buy a plane. No one buys a plane. They're too expensive to keep. You buy hours on a plane, and then you spend those hours as you wish.
Right.
And different flights on different models will cost you different amounts of hours. But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Daryl said, they also lease the barges, but from a different company.
yeah, the barges are from a different company because you got to think those barges are probably 20 years old, maybe a little younger, but they're probably like 20 years old. They use them until they sink, essentially. They keep them afloat as long as possible.
Yeah.
And why not just repurpose it instead of building an all new one that'll take 2 or 3 years to just build the barge?
Right.
Yeah.
Wonder what the security deposit is on something like that.
It's all contracts.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Or if the barge itself is insured.
Surely.
Has to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's
That's
bad business.
that's
if it
all
wasn't.
covered in their contract. Is SpaceX will have to carry this much liability insurance on the barges themselves. SpaceX is going to take care of these parts, but then anything that's like the barge company that operates them, they'll do the repairs on that stuff.
Or if they roll the dice and be like, well, the chances of it just completely sinking are low, and then they would just decide to just eat the cost on any repairs. Like, there's only been one time they've ever poked a hole in the deck, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember which launch it was, but the booster came down exceptionally hard and actually went through the deck.
Yep. I remember.
Yeah,
that
they've poked a hole in the deck at one time, and they've actually done physical damage to not just the deck, but also the structures on the deck. They've done damage to that stuff as well, that they've had to repair things. So, I mean, it was part of the learning curve for them.
Yeah.
But they definitely carry a lot of insurance on this stuff.
Yeah, I would think so. Now, NASA, on the other hand, they don't insure stuff because they're government, and
they're government. They're already liable for it anyway.
Yeah, it's like there's no insurance
That's actually
company
covered
bigger.
under what's it called? Tort law. All that's covered under tort law. It basically comes down to whose fault is it, and then that's the person who pays for it.
Let's see. Harry said, "I wonder what insurance rates are, for rocket catching." Yeah, who knows? Daryl says the guy at the insurance company who wrote the policy probably had a stroke when he heard they want to land a rocket on the barge. Yeah, probably. Okay, moving along. Today was an interesting day for the twins. Kyle, did you have some reason to think that this was going to be? Had you been talking to Gavin or anything?
I had only taken the pictures of those fairings because they were talking about them sitting in as Gavin said, car parks.
Car parks, yes.
Remember that whole conversation?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll take a picture of them. And I replied with a different version of this picture to his tweet about that. Like, oh, yeah, there they are.
And now there they aren't.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So today, yeah, and this, I love this picture. Look at this. This is, and it's Miss Tree, right? The mystery of Miss Tree. I think this is the first time we've seen two fairing halves on the same deck. Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So they were out there doing some scooping practice. And in fact, these are definitely the ones that are sitting over there because as definite as I can say, because I know that I've seen them with my own eyes, and one of them has these dark stripes right here, and then the other one is for the most part clean. So this is definitely those. And Julia made a good point. I don't know if I've actually. Yeah, okay, I did pull it up. She made a good point that she was wondering if they're going to see if the sisters can stay out for 2 missions and each bring home 2 catches. Like if they really get, if they get 2 back-to-back Starlinks, yeah, just keep it rolling.
Yep, absolutely. Just keep it rolling.
Yeah, just keep them out there. And
The other option they could do is they could send only 1 ship out if they decide they cannot fish them from the water or they don't catch them reliably enough. Try and catch 1, fish them both if worst case scenario.
well, I think if now somebody said maybe they could try to do both fairing halves with 1 ship, but I think it's more likely that they would try to do.
Apart.
Yeah, I would think that they would try to do 2 missions because if they did manage to catch it in the net, I'm pretty sure that as long as they've got at least a day, they can lower that fairing, slide it off the net, redeploy the net, and then be ready for the next mission. In the next.
It cuts down on the amount of overhead they would have to spend on getting another set of fairing catchers.
Right. Yeah, they definitely. Oh, man, I wouldn't think that they'd want to get.
I mean, if they're going to keep up a very fast cadence, they're going to need them eventually. But
Yeah.
for the time being, if they can catch 2 on a single mission, they could do 2 launches, one day after the other
Mm-hmm.
and catch those fairings.
And then, of course, we've seen how fast Miss Tree and Miss Chief can make it back, and it's pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, they fly. They
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah. Speaking
Very fast work.
Speaking of which, we have this video by one Mr. Kyle Montgomery of Miss Tree scooting along. I wish we had something else like as a reference. Well, there was a bird to use as reference, but they really do.
It was going 20 about 20 miles per hour in the shot.
Oh yeah, you had the tracker going. Yeah, it was
like 19.8, I think, miles per hour.
Like
That's
it's
pretty
almost
fast.
got
That's 20 knots.
It's almost got a rooster tail at the back. Daryl suggested that maybe they were.
It does, I'm pretty sure.
That they were testing out something. He's saying maybe they were testing out something with the fairings themselves and not necessarily fishing them. That could be. I mean, we don't get to know. What we do know is. Oh, Julia, she tweeted the the actual what the destination said. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, there it is. DP Ops 10 nautical miles CPA required, I guess, or requirements. So she's saying that the DP stands for dynamic positioning. So that has to do with when the fairings are coming down and getting in the right spot, to catch them. So they could have been doing some of that too. But obviously they were doing scooping. Now I did see a video by John Wincop, and I would show it, but I don't know him, and I didn't ask if I could show it, so I'm not going to. But definitely look him up. He's another one that is out there at the port from time to time with some content of what goes on out there. Let's see. I wanted to show some of these other photos of yours.
One interesting thing I saw was there are some yellow straps on some of the fairings through holes. I don't know which shot you would see it in, but I think the front one that they were lifting had it.
Right here.
Like, you see those straps there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
Now, are both of those pre-flown?
It could just be
Or
lifting it in hangers and stuff.
I would think so. In fact, you can see some discoloration at the tip on this one, so that to me would indicate
Yeah,
that.
they're definitely both pre-flown.
Yeah.
I know the front one there definitely.
Yeah.
With the scorch marks, but
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can still see. I mean, you could say that those are, scuff marks just from handling, but I'm pretty sure that these have been flown.
No, that's scorch mark.
Yeah.
Nothing scuffs that evenly.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. So that's cool. Let's see, we got that. Anything else that I'm forgetting with port stuff, fleet stuff?
I'm trying to think of it. I don't think so.
Okay, because this is moving on to something that is really only Space Coast related because it launched from here. It launched on a Atlas V 411. That's the one that does the power slide off the pad. But this was it launched September 8th of 2016, which I don't know if that date rings a bell with anybody, but that would be 7 days after the Amos 6 static fire explosion. Because that was September 1st of that year, right? I don't know. It stood out to me. I saw the launch date. I was like, oh, that was, man. And so I almost got to see that. That was the month that I came on vacation before I ever moved here, and just missed an Atlas V launch, and what would have been a SpaceX launch too. Yeah. So anyway, today Osiris Rex did their boop test. And well, here, I'll just play the video. What's always weird about videos like this is you think they're really close to the ground. And by ground, I mean the asteroid Bennu. They're at closest, it's 131 feet. Let me make sure. I've got this. Yeah, 131 feet from the asteroid. This was just testing out the ability for the spacecraft to do this on its own. So it's going to go down to the surface of Bennu. Oh, I should have a picture of what Bennu looks like. Let's do that.
And the actual day they're planning the scoop is October, what is it, 12th?
I know it's October, so I'm just going to take your word for it on the...
I think it was October 12th or 13th.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, this is actually a GIF. Is it going to play? Well, either way, this is what Bennu looks like. It's this big kind of diamond shaped. Let's see. Ah, yes, beautiful. And it is what did they say? It's a few hundred. Oh, okay. Bennu measures at 1,614 feet wide, or 492 meters for our Australian friends. Rockets and Razorblades! And so what it's going to do, I found the video of like the demo of what it's going to do. It's going to come on down to the surface very slowly, and it's going to touch down its little thing here. It's going to sit there for a few seconds, and then it's just going to do like puffs of nitrogen, I believe it is. That's just going to disturb the dust, and it's going to catch it in those little catchers, just like that. And then from there, it is going to come on back. And see when it's coming back is 2023. Yeah, thank you. So that's going to be really neat. You know, we're lately we've been talking a lot about, or kind of the mood of the scientific community is getting samples back from Mars. That's not going to be till at least 2031. Well, this is going to be real asteroid samples coming back.
ASR was one of the big goals of, like, say, Obama's space administration.
Yeah. ASR.
Was ASR, asteroid sample return. They also went ARM, which is the asteroid redirect mission.
Right. Yeah, that ended up getting canceled. That was a
Sadly.
pretty cool idea.
It's a great idea.
Put a big net around an asteroid and then just bring it back, put it in orbit around the moon, right? It was going to be orbit the moon.
Yeah, they wanted it in a cislunar orbit, probably like L1, L2, L3.
Mm-hmm. One of those stable orbits where you don't have to do much.
Points, yeah, Lagrange, stable Lagrange points. But yeah, like that would have made millionaires out of people to just go up there and mine that.
Daryl said NASA sent a small version of Megamaid from Spaceballs to vacuum an asteroid.
True story.
Okay, yeah, so that's exciting. That's going to be in October, and then of course 2023 before we get those samples back.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that we're excited about is, of course, Vulcan will be flying next year, and Tori put out a time lapse of the back side of the pad. This is the side of the pad that you only ever get to see if you visit the pad, because sometimes when you enter the pad fence, they'll like have you drive around the backside, and it's really cool to see all the infrastructure. You'll see tanks that say methane on them, because you know what that's for. That is for the mighty BE4. And what came out today, in fact, we don't even, you see this still picture? Oh, that's neat, right? Now, we've got footage. Now, look, and it's actually got audio, too. Let me make sure it's not too loud.
So much pretty.
Yes. One of the things that's insane to me is that they can hold that thing still.
Okay, good. So I'm not the only one. What is holding it, and like how?
Concrete.
Lots
Feet
of
and
it.
feet and feet.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a ton of concrete.
A ton of concrete. They've got, you can see in this shot here, well, there you go again. You can see the thing that they've got at the tip holding it from pushing forward. But then they've got to
It's
be,
not even. It's like effortless. It's just not moving.
yeah. But if something broke,
Well, they also have to make it stay on a rocket.
do what?
Hmm?
What'd you say, Kyle?
They also have to make it stay on a rocket.
Right. Yeah,
So-
and that's what's holding it from like, going like this. Like it's got the things that latch on to the rocket, and that's what's keeping it from moving like up or down. But
Harry said paper clips.
paper clips. They use rockets
He's
and
not
razor
right.
blades.
Concrete paper clips.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's just another sign that Vulcan is definitely coming and is well on its way. Like we don't get to see as much development as we do with Starship and stuff, but they test in a completely different way. There won't be any burst tests, for instance. We're not going to see that. Even the SLS did that, but the Vulcan's not going to do that.
SLS was an intentional burst test, whereas SpaceX, they kind of just did it a couple times.
Yeah, a couple of theirs have been intentional, but some of them have not.
Even their intentional ones, I don't think they really truly planned on it. It was just a test, like as they were testing to see when it bursts, but it burst before they wanted it to burst. So,
Yeah. In fact, I think it's SN7 is going to be one that they're going to test it to destruction. I'm pretty sure they've said. SN6, no. Is it SN6 is actually going to possibly fly, or is it just going to be some?
I thought SN6 was the big hopper.
SN8,
It was going to be like next larger.
SN8 is going to be the one that actually has a cone and the flaps and all that stuff. So that would probably be the first one that's going to do the big one, the 150 kilometer hop, which ain't really a hop. That's a suborbital flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on. This is just. I was going to give launch dates, because we have a busy. Really 24 hours coming up, because it's like, what is it, 10:30 in the morning on Tuesday that Starlink is launching, and that'll be the 11th batch, and then it's 1:30 a.m. that night, or Wednesday morning, that the Delta 4 Heavy is launching. I know a certain Matt that's super excited about
Yeah,
it.
no. That's the That's the 26th. That's the week after. Yeah, that's the week after.
No. Well, that's actually good. Okay. Hey, Becca, that changes a lot. Because you know what I did?
I was like, well, hold on, wait, what?
What's happening here? What are we talking about?
Tuesday the 18th.
What year is it?
Hold your horses.
What year? Yeah, the whole chat was like, what? What's he talking about? Yeah, you're 100% right. I saw Tuesday and then Wednesday. It was like, oh man, that's going to be a busy couple days.
Yep.
Okay,
See
so
what
we've-
happens? There's too many launches to keep up with. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a great problem to have, though.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So not next week. Good. I mean, not good. It would be cool to see those. Both of those launch that close to each other.
Back to back to back. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
But it's more time to prepare. Okay, so
Yes.
that's good.
And
And
For
not
anybody
killing
that's
ourselves
watching-
physically to be out there for everything.
Do what?
exactly. But do what, Jordan?
I said not killing ourselves physically to actually be out there for everything.
Yeah, 150 is pretty early, but it's a heavy launch. So if anybody's in chat and hasn't seen a heavy launch, you want to come over and see a heavy launch.
Yeah,
my
it's the one to come
my first in person, because living in Orlando and then growing up in Oklahoma, so my first in person launch was a Delta Heavy, and that was the Parker Solar Probe, which I did the NASA social for, and I got to meet Dr. Parker and everything. It was probably one of the greatest experiences of my life, and that was pretty much at the press site. You know what I mean? So a heavy launch at the press site, I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. It was fantastic. But
That's
what was
hooked you
awesome
in,
about
really, right? That's really what got you.
it's what really hooked me in. But this launch will always be my favorite because my son and my mom were at the hotel and they were both watching this launch from the hotel room. Now everybody's like, "Oh, that's cool." Well, me and his name was on that rocket. Me and his name was on the Parker Solar Probe, so me and him both got to watch our names get launched into space.
That's cool.
So for me, me and my son seeing the same launch at the same time from two totally different places, it just holds a whole lot more value in my heart, man.
Man, imagine though if you could have. I know it's impossible because you were in the NASA social, but to be able to bring him there on base. I hate that is actually the worst part of getting that kind of access is you can't bring anybody along.
Nope.
Yeah, I know.
And then hopefully, before too long, the Kennedy Space Center, the visitor complex, will open up enough that people can start going over the Apollo Center, because then, it's not as close. In fact, actually, depending on what launch and where the press site is and stuff, sometimes that can be closer than the press site. Than some of the press sites, because sometimes we've been like 5 miles from the pad at some of these press sites, but the Apollo Center is, I think it's 3.9 miles because it's sort of a play on the 39, 39A. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's 3.9 miles from 39A, and then it's slightly farther from each pad as they go south. But that's a good place that, if you're just part of the general public, you can get that crackle that we talk about, being that close.
Yeah, heavy launches, especially Delta Heavy. Delta Heavy is going to be fantastic. I mean, the Falcon Heavy is nice too, but it's just something about the Delta Heavy. Like when it first launches, that giant flame that seems just engulf the whole entire rocket, and you're thinking, what is going on right now? It's normal for a Delta Heavy, for the whole rocket to be just engulfed in flames, and then all of a sudden just takes off. And the crackle from that bad boy, Lord Jesus.
Yeah. A little photography talk. I wanna talk to some photographers that have shot Delta Heavy, because I get the impression that that the exhaust plume is just not nearly as bright as what we're used to shooting, because we're used to shooting, Atlas and Falcon 9. They both use kerosene. They burn super bright. But Delta Heavy uses hydrogen, and that's like a transparent flame. I mean, you see some of these photos, and lately they've been cropping up because the Parker Solar Probe launch was 2 years ago. And, you see... You can't tell, settings and you can't tell what they've done to it in post just from looking at a picture, but you can tell that you're seeing through that flame. And I'm curious what kind of differences you make, for your remote cameras, And I'm not one to, I don't want anybody to just give me settings. I don't want that. I just want someone to be like, yeah, it's a few stops lower, you don't have to underexpose as much. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to trying that out. Let's cross our fingers that they let more than one of us out. That'll that'll be a bummer if it's just one of us.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's a classified mission. It's a classified payload, so it's basically a military satellite, and it's ULA, so NASA has nothing to do with it. So anytime we've been out to 41, when there's been a launch that hasn't been a NASA payload, they've pretty much been open with having more than one person come.
Yeah.
Because even though we are still experiencing COVID and COVID's going to be hanging around for a while, it's starting to, I would say, simmer down somewhat.
Well, and I think with that stuff, they're watching everybody, making sure that everyone is following the rules when we're out there, the distancing and the masks and everything. And I think as long as everybody's, minding their P's and Q's, then it'll be okay.
Exactly.
I did see Harry said that he got to see the last burn from Parker Solar Probe. It was he could see it over his house. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so
I remember him mentioning that before.
that he could see it over his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of the things that I noticed, because everybody was posting their, on this day 2 years ago, Parker Solar Probe launched, and so I posted mine, and one of y'all, either Kyle or Matt, in our Facebook group, talked about how big it was, how big the streak was, or how long it was.
How long?
Yeah,
That was me.
And my first response was, well, maybe that just was that specific payload and trajectory and everything. But actually, no, I think it's because that center core burns so much longer because it's throttled down, for the first part of the flight, so that the two side boosters will expend their fuel, and then once they're gone, then it throttles up to full power. So yeah, it does just burn a lot longer. Right.
Yeah, you can almost.
I had a friend who knows his Delta 4s, and he said it burns for 6 minutes. So longest burning ever of rockets, pretty much.
The first stage burns for 6 minutes.
I don't know if it's necessarily the first stage, but I think it's the first stage is what he meant. But
so, yeah.
How long it burns, because we were talking streaks, so that's what he would mean. I would presume.
Right.
Yeah, that would make sense because if you look at Stego's streak shot, I mean, it's almost a whole half circle of a streak.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which
it was around the Earth.
Yeah, exactly. So any kind of Falcon 9 launch, it gets cut off because it just But that launch, I mean, you can see it. Look at that.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, see, it's almost a whole half circle.
Yeah, it almost goes all the way to the horizon.
Yeah, almost.
And it might have just been dimmed
center
out
core
because of the horizon.
Could have been. Yeah, that's cool, man.
It is the center core that burns for 6 minutes.
And actually, you can see. Let me see if I can just open image in new tab and then actually zoom in on it. Oh, it doesn't zoom in hardly at all. You can actually see booster separation right here. Yeah.
Control and scroll, maybe.
Well, I don't know why. I have the buttons for the scrolling on this mouse, but it doesn't scroll. Yeah. But anyway.
That's another reason to pull your images up on SmugMug.
Yeah. I do have it on SmugMug.
Fast way to be able to zoom in like that.
Ah, well. And it did coincide with the Perseids meteor shower, and that is one right there.
Yeah, such a cool shot, man.
Yeah, I want to do another one of these Star Trails ones. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I want to do another one like this. This was just out on the beach. I honestly didn't put a whole lot of thought into it other than that I wanted to do the Star Trails. I was out there. This is probably the longest one that I've ever done for Star Trails. I think I was out there for 3 hours leading up to launch. It's just really cool. You got, Polaris right in the middle, and then, well, not in the middle of the frame, but, and then all the lines get longer and longer. The Earth is round, y'all. Can you believe it?
You don't say.
Yeah. Okay, what was the last thing we were going to talk about is oceans on other worlds, right?
Oceans on other worlds, right? So they came out with some new information just this week about Ceres, which is an Apollo group asteroid here. And essentially, they believe there may be an ocean underneath from the last observations that they took with the craft passing by. I don't remember which craft it was that got the observations.
Wait, oh, Vespa. No, not Vespa. Vespa was the other. What's the name of the mission? NASA's Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah, Dawn Orbiter, right? So Dawn Orbiter saw some discoloration in some of these craters on Ceres, and going through that data, and they get more data than they could ever go through in a short amount of time when these missions are delivering all their data. Usually what we're getting is just piecemeal for years afterward. So they're going through the data, and they find that some of these discolored areas could be underground ocean on Ceres, which is a dwarf planet. It's about the same size as Pluto.
That's incredible. It's like I would have never thought that one of these asteroids could have liquid water on it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
You'd think that it'd be too small to actually hold that much heat, to be able to keep water as a liquid.
Yeah.
Man.
But I mean, look, it's the size of Pluto, which it's not necessarily a small object in our solar system.
That's true. Yeah, and it's a lot closer than Pluto.
Yes, this is in the asteroid belt. We can get to this in, you're talking 5 years instead of 9.
Well, yeah. I mean, it takes us 6 to 9 months to get to Mars, and then space is vast, but
Space is very vast.
How long does it take us to get to
the asteroid belt? Jupiter is like a 5-6 year mission.
Okay. Yeah, and the asteroid belt is somewhere between Mars and Jupiter.
Yeah, it's actually fairly, roughly right in the middle between Mars and Jupiter.
Mm-hmm. And then another one that may have liquid water is Ganymede.
Ganymede, yes.
Yeah, when we were getting ready for the show, y'all, Matt brought this up, and I was like, wait, I thought you were talking about Ganymede. No, because Ganymede apparently may have oceans 10 times deeper than Earth. How nuts. And, man, NASA needs more money, y'all. NASA
needs more money. Elon Musk, when he talks about all the way back when Starship was called BFR, right?
Yeah.
When he was talking about landing one of these things on Enceladus, right, which is a moon of Jupiter that we know has a liquid water. It has like a crust of ice, and we know there's liquid water underneath that.
Enceladus is the most obvious one. Right?
Yes, it's actually the most obvious. Enceladus and Titan are the two that we've known about for a long time. And on that list of places where we think life might exist in our solar system, or at least have had a chance to exist, those two are at the top of our list, honestly. Because Enceladus, you think it's so far away from the sun, how can life exist there? But it's being pushed and pulled by the planet as it goes around, which actually causes internal warming inside. That's why we know it's an ocean and not just ice ball all the way through.
Right. So exciting. I want to go there, or I want us to send things there. I don't want to go there, honestly.
Realistically, if we put our minds to it, we could be putting things on Enceladus and putting things on Titan within 50 years.
Yeah.
Like actually putting boots on the ground.
Yeah.
That's if we really put our mind to it, and instead of piddle farting around, as my dad would say, piddle farting around, instead of piddle farting around and spending a lot of taxpayer money on these huge programs like SLS, which is way more expensive than what we're going to get out of it, I think. Give the money to a company like SpaceX or like ULA and say, hey, take us there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, real life Interstellar.
Yeah, that's a tough one to talk about in the space community because, for one, I do really want to see SLS fly, but everybody knows it's a point of contention because it is an awful lot of money. And it can get the Europa mission there faster, but they did. I don't think we talked about this, and I don't have all the details off the top of my head, but a new well, you're the policy guy, Matt. They put out a new what's the word, like where it's a budget term. It's one of the it's like a
Appropriation.
yeah, the appropriations where they changed.
Yeah, the appropriations bills.
They changed just a little bit of a sentence about the Europa Clipper mission. It
Yes.
was like it was must launch on a SLS if available.
Yes, they changed it from must launch on an SLS to will launch on an SLS if available.
Right.
So they're thinking long term. SLS, I mean, as great of program and as capable as it's going to be, it's a huge, expensive waste of money. Just without getting into the politics, huge, expensive waste of money, right? If they had given that amount of money to Elon Musk, we'd already have bases on the moon, and we would be on our way to Mars right now.
Yeah.
Like my shirt says, "Get your ass to Mars. We need to."
Yeah, we got to. Let's see what else. Okay, that's that. Yeah. So all right. Well, that's everything. Is there anything else we want? Oh, there is one thing that I thought was exciting is that Rocket Lab has determined what the issue was with the launch failure. Somebody maybe didn't connect a wire properly, like a wiring harness wasn't completely secured, and so it was connecting, disconnecting, and if you've ever experienced sparks in a connection that's not a great connection, it builds up heat and eventually will melt through things and destroy the connection, and that's what happened. And it was part because they use electric pumps to feed fuel into their combustion chamber, and so if your electric pump fails, then yeah, as Daryl said, loose wire, literally a loose wire. So it was a simple fix. I mean, this is pretty fast for them to be able to figure out what happened.
It's not something that they have to go back all the way through their production process to figure out exactly where it happened. They know exactly where the failure was, and it's something that they can fix very easily, as opposed to having to change processes.
Right. So they'll be able to return to flight, and they're saying flight 17 will be the first time that they actually attempt to recover the booster. And they even have, maybe I can pull it up real quick. They've shown pictures of that specific booster, and it looks a little different. I'm not sure. Rocky Lab. I'm not sure if that's a necessity. I don't know the details behind why it looks different. Wait, I'm going back too far. Where is this? I know I saw this picture. Or was it Peter Beck that tweeted it?
It might have been Beck.
Yeah, it might have been, because it had the inner stage was white. Yeah, let's see. Let's go.
So doing the reverse of the Falcon.
Right. Yeah.
The reverse Falcon punch.
Oh, it was the first one right there. Yeah, there you go.
There be.
So that's the one that's going to be the first to be recovered. And they've done their final drop test, right? Did he tweet that too? They released a video of it. Well, anyway, you guys can find it. It's either on Peter Beck's Twitter or Rocket Lab's Twitter. That's going to be super cool. I hope we have live footage of it. If not, I'm sure they'll give us the footage later on.
Astra.
Oh, Astra.
Sorry.
Astra did not
Sorry.
launch.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're talking about live videos. And I'm
yeah,
like, Astra.
Yeah, man. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is, it's a brand new company. Maybe they don't, when you think about,
They're shy.
Put your fandom aside. We, the space fans, we would understand if one blew up, but they're also trying to attract customers,
Investors.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe, maybe that's why.
You got to think, as a space flight community, we have been obscenely blessed with SpaceX, who puts cameras on every surface they possibly can on these rockets. And ULA has started doing that. And NASA's going to end up doing that with the SLS. We have a lot more access than we used to have as a space flight public. So we're at the point where we expect that instant access of being able to see all these crazy different views of the rocket. And maybe they're not spending their money on putting cameras on it. They're spending their money on making the rockets better.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a window for them, the 30th.
For Astra. All right.
Yep, the 30th.
So starting August 30th, they're going to start making that attempt again.
Yep.
Well, I wonder if our old buddy Mr. Krause is going to be flown out there again.
He's going to go and head on out.
Man, that is super cool, though. He got to go out there during the wintertime and freeze, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then he...
out.
Do what? What did you say, Kyle?
He's getting some vacations out of it.
Yeah. And then he got to go out in the middle of summer where it's daylight all the time. That's just super cool. What an experience. I would love to go to Alaska. Hey, Astro,
I wonder if there'll be any.
You need a second camera.
I wonder if there'll be any random amateur photographers that are going to end up photoing it, or if it's literally just going to be Krause with the only photos.
Surely not. Well, surely. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's like helping
Alaska,
them.
it's sparse.
Do what? Oh, you mean like
Alaska,
just other
it's sparsely populated.
like other people just around that might
Like
be taking
us, but there.
Yeah, like people taking street photos.
And you just random photographers that already live in Australia that are, or not, live in Alaska that are just going to do it.
There it is.
Okay. All right. Well, we've beat this dead horse. Let's move on. Let's see. Everybody in chat, we really appreciate you being there. If you're new to the show and you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. But yeah, Daryl, Seth, Harry, Zach, Astro Guy was up there. Anybody else I missed? It's in the chat. Jonathan
Zach.
M. What?
Zach Hall was on there.
Yeah, Zach. Yeah, everybody, and then everybody that I can't see that is not in the chat, that's fine too. That's fine.
You can be a lurker.
Yeah, we can all.
Sorry, it's more fun when you participate, though.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, that's a show. We don't have Kegel to play our little outro thing. Wasn't there something that we were talking about doing instead on the outro? Does anybody remember? Nobody remembers.
I don't, but I think everybody should know before we leave that when you see Mr. Kyle Montgomery, he has a new nickname, and his new nickname is the Machine.
Is the Machine.
Yeah.
This dude driven all over this state to get that fresh footage.
Yeah, he's not the only one out there, but man, he is the one that's always out there.
Dominoes on top of Exploration Tower. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole new level right there, man.
That's right. I think I told him last time we were up there. I think I told him like they would totally do it. It's no different than delivering to the 7th floor of an apartment building. It's like, yeah, well, as long as
no, I think the time you were trying to get me to do it was the fancy little area.
Yeah. Yeah, and
in which I find that it's a little bit more awkward to explain where the hell I am versus the top floor of the big tower.
Oh, yeah, that's right, the grassy area. Well, even still, you could. The thing is about pizza is if you will tell them that, kind of give them an address of where you're at, tell them to call you, and as long as you answer your phone, we'll work it out. We'll totally work it out.
I also worry about making people walk. I generally don't want to make people walk.
You can walk to them. Daryl wants to know if you have a Russian mob story to go with it. What? I'm talking.
Not yet.
You might be
comedian goes by the name of the Machine who tells the Russian mob
about
story.
the Machine.
Yeah. It's
they're making a movie out of it.
What's his name? Oh man,
I don't know. He's the comedian who likes to be bare chested on stage. He rips his shirt off.
Brett something.
Oh, it starts with a B. Yeah. Is it Brett? I don't know. He's on Joe Rogan a lot too.
Brett something.
Yeah. The Machine. All right. Well, hey, that's the show, y'all. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, Bert Kreischer. That's it. All right. Bye.
Shutdown sequence.